UFOs, or UAPs if you want the government approved name, used to be something that only conspiracy nuts talked about, and if it was brought up, you were quickly ridiculed. But now, they're in Congress, they're on CNN, they're in military briefings, and even the Pentagon has basically gone, yeah, some of these things are real, and we don't really know what they are. Great, it only took them 80 years. So today, instead of arguing about who's driving these things, we're asking something a little bit more fun. How would UFOs actually work? What tech would they need? And is there any science behind their so-called wild manoeuvres? Welcome to Mysteries Retold. Now let's start with what pilots and radar operators keep describing. That's instant acceleration, right angle turns hovering with no wings, no visible propulsion, no sonic boom, and speeds that would turn a human pilot into soup. We're talking about 5,000 to 15,000 G-forces. Your average fighter jet taps out at about 9. Even Mr. Tom Cruise isn't surviving that one. So whatever these things are, they're not flying like planes. They're doing something else, something closer to cheating physics. And, according to the government, they are real. Now this is a quick video whipping through some options, and the first big theory is gravity manipulation. They don't fly through the air, they drag space-time with them. So imagine you're pulling the fabric of reality into a little bubble around the craft. Inside that bubble, there's no inertia. Outside the bubble, the craft moves like a pinball. Now this would explain no G-force, no wings, no heat plume, and no sonic boom. It's kind of like surfing through reality instead of flying through it. And this matches some of the leaked Navy descriptions that literally say the craft appeared to distort the air around it. Whatever these things are, they're not flying like planes, they're doing something else, something closer to cheating physics. And the weirdest part is that if they're bending space-time even slightly, they're not just defying aerodynamics, they might be defying time itself, which, stay with me, means whoever is inside these things could be from the present, the distant future, or a timeline we have no idea about. Yep, we might be witnessing something way stranger than aliens, visitors from when, not where, and that could even include future versions of humanity. Another option could be the Alcubierre warp drive. In 1994, physicist Miguel Alcubierre proposed a real mathematical model for a warp bubble. The basic idea is that you compress space in front of you and expand space behind you. You don't move, the universe does. The only problem is you need negative energy, which we don't know how to make. But quantum physics says it might exist. In other words, Star Trek isn't as far-fetched as people think. If UFOs use something like this, it explains everything. And warp drive physics gets even crazier. The Alcubierre model doesn't just move you faster than light, it bends time. And if a warp bubble really exists, then in theory, you could arrive somewhere before you've left. Time inside the bubble could move differently. Observers outside would see something impossible, and travellers inside wouldn't feel a thing. So if anyone is using this tech, they could be far future explorers, a civilization that outlived us, or post-human descendants returning to observe their own origins. A UFO might not be an alien spacecraft at all. It could be a history student from the year 4000 on a bit of a field trip. And the next one's pretty mad. It's plasma skin magneto-hydrodynamic drive. Try and say that 3 times. This one is weird, but real science. Some think that UFOs create a magnetized plasma shell around themselves that reduces drag, heat, and friction. The craft becomes basically frictionless, like an air hockey puck floating on an invisible cushion. The tech is actually being studied in aerospace labs right now. We're just not very good at it yet. Next, interdimensional phasing. And this is where things get even weirder. Some physicists think that UFOs might not be flying at all. They could be phasing in and out of our dimension, only partly visible. Now that would explain the blinking in and out that's reported, impossible angles, instant appearance, radar seeing something but cameras not, objects moving without interacting with air. If you were 2D and something 3D poked into your world, it would look like a glitch. And we might just be 2D beings here. Maybe. If UFOs phase in and out of reality, not entering our space so much as brushing against it, then we might be seeing time travellers clipping into our timeline, like someone stepping too close to the edge of a doorway, and that would explain appearances that blink, distort, and seem mistimed. If time is a dimension that they can move through, we're watching beings who can visit any frame they choose. And honestly, if we could do that, we absolutely would. We'd visit ancient history, we'd visit our own future, and we'd poke around the universe like tourists. There's no reason a more advanced civilization wouldn't do the same. Maybe they're already here. And maybe the wildest theory that some physicists privately take seriously is that UFOs aren't driven by aliens, they're humans, just upgraded. If a future civilization survives long enough to master gravity and quantum engineering, then time becomes just another direction to travel in. From their perspective, visiting 2024 might feel like we're about to visit a museum. Maybe they're watching us, maybe they're studying us, maybe they're checking we don't blow ourselves into space dust, or maybe they're just curious what the old world looked like. And if that's true, we're not being visited by aliens, we're being visited by our future selves, which is kind of comforting. But which theory's right? Maybe none, maybe nothing at all, maybe all of them. Or maybe UFOs aren't bending space-time, they're bending our understanding of space-time. The more we learn, the more it looks like there's something out there using physics that we haven't written the equations for yet. And that's quite exciting, as well as scary. So what do you think? Humans, aliens, government cover-up, warp bubbles, gravity control, interdimensional tourists? Yes, it took the government 80 years to actually disclose they see things which they cannot understand. But honestly, for a simpleton like me, it's still just as fun to debate what the fuck these things could be. If you've got any thoughts, let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining us today. Good night, folks.